Hi, it's Ruby. Thanks for clicking on my video. Today I'll be doing a review on my experience with my girlfriends this past Labor Day weekend at the Hyatt Regency Aqua Serena Spa. The Hyatt Regency Aqua Serena Spa is located in Indio, California. The spa is part of the Indian Wells Golf Resort, Hyatt Regency. The 4 areas that I'm going to be targeting today is going to be atmosphere, amenities, pricing, and overall service. And then I'm gonna give a few critiques or things that I think that could have been better, break that down for you guys. Let's talk about atmosphere first. So one thing I wanna know about the Hyatts, and I've been to a lot of different Hyatts, used to travel for work, and so I'd always stay at a Hyatt. I really like the resort specifically because the spas and the gym are usually in their own building somewhere else. I like that because it really helps you get into the mood of whatever you're gonna be doing. So if you're gonna be working out, you walk over there, there's like jammed up music and you start feeling like, oh, okay, good, I'm gonna go work out. Whereas the spa usually has a tranquil, soft atmosphere to it, and that was no change here when we entered the Aqua Serene Spa. When we arrived at the Hyatt, we went through a long driveway and past the hotel, which was absolutely gorgeous. It was very tall and big. It gave me remnants of the Hyatt Kauai. If you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. If not, you should add it to your bucket list because it's an amazing place. But there was palm trees and it was a very grand entrance. We did not go into the main building. Like I mentioned, the spa is its separate building. So we went and got parking. We were able to get them to compensate for it, so we didn't have to pay for the parking. And we parked inside the parking lot and we got out. You could just hear water falling. You could just see how beautiful the spa was, and we approached it and walked up. When we went in, the backdrop is the main picture that they have on their website. It looks like a pool, but you can't actually swim in it. And it has chairs on the sides of it going backwards into like a backdrop. Trees, palm trees. The main lobby area is really big. It also has a little waterfall and 2 chairs inside. You could buy things that you used within your spa treatments, but also they had some merchandise that included clothing and different things like that. I didn't spend a ton of time looking, but my girlfriend did go and buy a few things that she liked when she got into the spa because she thought it was really good and she wanted to use it in her home. When we got there, we checked in and we're given a tour of all of the amenities. I'm gonna move into amenities shortly, but I just wanna say overall the atmosphere of the building itself with the music, the openness, the scents was really great. And then also when you come in and you see that backdrop of the waterfall and palm trees, it's really beautiful. And that all contributed to the overall atmosphere. Let's talk next about amenities. And it's kind of weird for me because the atmosphere and the amenities are very much related. For example, when I go through each thing that you have as an option or available to you, there was a different atmosphere for each part of it. The first thing I want to point out is the spa itself is its own area and the amenities there, but you also have access to some of the amenities of the hotel. So let's talk specifically about the spa, and then I'll talk about some of the hotel amenities that you have access to. Within the spa, there's a big locker room area. Because we were there pretty early in the morning, we got access to the 2 side rooms that had lockers there with benches, and then there was lockers in the more common area. One thing I really liked was that the bathrooms were separate from the showers. I like that because sometimes that can get weird. I also liked the fact that there was big mirrors for if you were washing your hands and or doing your hair. So I'll call that like the wet zone. So wet hair, drying off, or maybe doing your makeup, you want a specific look or specific lighting. And they had a room for that. And it included hair dryers, and they said they had flat irons as well. They had some hair products such as hairspray, deodorant, and lotion available for you in that area. And then they had a separate area with seating and really nice lighting. So if you wanted to do your hair or your makeup in that area, you could. And I loved that because it was 2 different types of things. And also it got a little bit busy, which will be my critique at the end, but at least there was a lot of space so you could go to these 2 different areas and get your makeup done or your hair done or whatever after your treatment. Once you pass the main locker area and go past the area with the bathrooms and your hair, that goes into kind of like this sauna/steam room area. There was 4 showers indoor, and that was on your left-hand side. And then on your right-hand side was where they had grapefruit and lemon water and cucumbers. So cold cucumbers for your eyes and wet towels, and also just plain water. The woman that walked us through the spa told us that we should definitely take the cucumbers and the cold towels into the steam room. So the steam room was its own room, and then there was also a sauna. And she said, lay down, put the cold towel behind your neck, and put the cucumbers on your eyes, and you will have just a divine experience. And so we did do that, and that was great. The sauna was also there, and it was one of those saunas where you could pour the water onto rocks and then it would provide steam. I know sometimes on cruise ships specifically, they'll say, hey, don't actually pour the water on the hot coals, but in this room you could do that. It was very big. We had about 5 girls with us, and we still had room in each area with all of us sitting down and sometimes laying down on the benches. That was really great. They also gave us a robe when we came in so that we could change out of our regular clothes and wear that. And that spa area was the women only area. It was not co-ed. One thing I want to mention is after we got there, we found out there was a men's area, and there is men's treatment. So I should have just assumed there was a men's area. We left our husbands to go to do these treatments, and we were there for a really long time. Felt kind of bad, but it was fun. It was a good girl bonding moment. Outside of the sauna area, there was a private pool. That was the only actual private pool that you could get into, and it was very small. There was a pool, and then there was a set of chairs right next to it. If you wanted to get some sun, this would be a really good place for you to lay out and get some sun. And then also the pool area had a little bit of shade, but not too much. Oh, I want to mention it was Labor Day weekend, so it was super hot. It was over 100 degrees, and that's not comfortable for me. I don't live in an area where it gets super hot like that, and if it does, it's only for like a month. So that was a lot for me. The girls that I was with are from California, and that was pretty hot for them too. One of the best parts of the amenities that are available was they had outdoor showers. They were private, but they were outdoor, and I did end up using one of them, and it was just really pretty. I have a kind of bug phobia, and so I was expecting, you know, we're in like the desert part of California, and I did see some bugs, but they did a really good job of making sure that there wasn't bugs everywhere. And I get it, we're outside, it's their world, we just live in it, but I do have a phobia of bugs, so I really appreciated that I didn't really see a lot of bugs. The outdoor showers were not as fancy as the indoor showers. The indoor showers had a mist that you could spray on yourself. I want to say like eucalyptus, and it was a scent, and my friend did use it and she said it was divine, and she ended up buying it later. But that was really awesome to have the outdoor and indoor shower option if you wanted to be more in nature, look up and see the palm trees, which I did and it was great, or if you wanted more of an indoor shower. The last 2 private areas of the spa were the waiting room area. The waiting room area had tea and coffee right before it, so they showed us that where we could get our tea and coffee. And then you walked into a really big open space, and they had massage chairs there. I want to mention that the room itself is between the pool, so if you look to your left, you can see the pool area that's private, and then to your right, the pool that I mentioned when you first walk into the building, that was there. Note to self, you can't go in that pool, it's more just for looks. And so it gave you a really peaceful feeling right before you get your service done. There's also food that was available. So when we first got there, there was cupcakes and scones and muffins. I didn't try that, and I regret it because for some reason I figured, oh, they'd have the same thing after my service, but they didn't, which is a pro for people that were there for several hours, because if you got it at the beginning of your service, you were able to try that, and then in the afternoon they had different ones. I love that they had that, because if you've been soaking in water all day, or if you're in the sauna or you get a service, you can be really hungry when you get done, and that's what happened to me. I wasn't hungry when I got there, but afterwards I had a muffin and an apple, and it sufficed me very well. So they had fresh fruit as well, and they also had dried fruit, white chocolate, dried peaches, I believe, or apricots, and nuts. They also had the service rooms themselves, and we didn't get access to that until we had our service. And I want to note that there was one hallway on the women's side, but a couple of my friends did end up going on the men's side and using those service rooms, but again, it was private rooms. It was a co-ed area, but it was private rooms, if that makes sense. Overall, I thought the amenities at the facility were really great. It was very clean, and I wasn't expecting the food. One thing I want to mention as well is that you have access to the pool for the resort guests, and they pointed us in the direction of where that was, and it was a little bit of a walk, maybe like a 2 or 3 minute walk. They are doing construction at the Hyatt. They're going to be adding lazy rivers in, which is amazing. I love the lazy rivers. That's like my favorite way to go in the water, and you just have an inner tube and you just kind of float around. A lot of construction, but that was fine. We walked over to the pool area and scanned our card. It did not work, so we were standing there for a while. They also had a water slide and a big play area with a shallow pool for all the children to play in. Overall, it was nice to walk over there and see that, and like I mentioned, it was a bigger pool, but we were looking for more of a quiet, tranquil experience, so we ended up not staying there, but it was a nice option to be able to go over there and use their amenities. And I do wonder, once they do put the lazy river in, if they'll increase their price point, because they are including that additional, but who knows, we'll find out, I guess. The next area that I want to talk about is pricing. We ended up getting the summer chill deal, and that was 2 50-minute services, and they had a list that you could pick from. The options were a Swedish massage, a summer bourbon body scrub, serene skin facial, soothing manicure pedicure, and with that you got access to the spa, 20% off any food or drinks that you wanted, and 20% on any additional service that you wanted to add to the package. For example, my friend ended up getting the CBD oil included in her massage, and she said that that just enhanced her experience even more and her senses, and she loved it. Or you could add on like a scalp massage. They have a whole list, I'll post it here so you can see it. 2 50-minute treatments, it was $190, and then they added on tax and an additional 20% off what would have been the total cost, and so it brought us to about $240 a person. I thought that it was a good price. I was on the fence a little bit about it, but I'll break down to you why I thought it was a good price. For example, the first thing that I always do whenever there's a special is I go look at what their original pricing was before they had the special. If you look at the price list for the scrub and the massage, for a 50-minute treatment, it's usually $165 minimum. So you basically pay $30 additional to get the second 50-minute treatment. I had a scrub and a massage. My other friends had scrubs, massages, and 2 people got facials. Usually if I'm just doing a treatment and I'm not getting access to like a special facility, I think that $1 a minute is a good price. If you are adding in additional amenities like experience or I don't know, special oils or something, or spa and sauna, I would do $2 per minute and do the math on that, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I usually go to Korean spas when I get scrubs and massages, and so their price point, depending on the area, could be significantly less than that. But again, we got a deal on it. Like I mentioned, it would have been $165 for a normal 50-minute treatment, and it was amazing, okay? The treatment was amazing for me, and I will break that down in the service section. Because you got access to the spa area, you got free food, you had all these additional amenities like the outdoor shower, and just, you know, the sense of tranquility and the relaxation of the entire thing. I think that it was worth the pricing at the reduced rate. Would I pay the full price? I wouldn't, but that's just me. Some people may, but that's just me. I wouldn't, because I know that I could get something similar for a cheaper price point if I'm just talking about service. I'll show a list of the food pricing. Again, you would have gotten 20% off the food pricing, and so that was a pretty good amount. And we didn't end up getting food because we waited too long, and then it was like almost time for our service, and we decided we wanted to try to get something else later. But the food looked good for the people that I did see get food, and then I saw a couple girls having champagne and wine at the pool, and that looks really nice, but we didn't do that. We just stuck to water because we were trying to detox and cleanse, and plus the water was free with the grapefruit and the lemon. And then I had tea later just to kind of give myself a little warm up after my service was done. We're gonna go into service now. Service. Again, I mentioned I had a scrub, and then that was followed by a massage. I had Maria do my 2 treatments, and she did a great job. I want to tell you a pet peeve of mine, and that pet peeve is if you pay for a treatment, let's say you pay for 60 minutes and it ends up being shorter, that really irritates me. And also, I don't like when they include you changing your clothes in that time window. Sometimes I've asked, hey, is the 60-minute the actual treatment, or is it the entire experience, like going into the room and changing and all that? And a lot of times it does include that entire experience, which is fine, but I put that into my mental cost assessment, the pricing, when I'm deciding. One thing I want to note is that while the scrub itself was great, the massage was great, and I'll break down every part of it and the little things that I liked within that, the 50 minutes for the scrub included you taking a shower, okay? So that means that I didn't take a super long shower, so I missed out on a few minutes of my overall scrub time. Also, my girls, they got pulled into their services before me. I was the last one to get pulled in, but somehow I was the first one to get put out. That frustrated me a little bit, but I kind of was like, whatever, because overall Maria did a very good job. The scrub. I've never done a scrub in a spa that wasn't a Korean spa. The Korean spa experience is a little bit different. Actually, it's a lot different, so I didn't know what to expect. So we went into a private room that had an attachment which included an outdoor shower. They had you basically lay down, a body scrub on both sides of your body. The scrub itself wasn't scented very strong, and that's okay because a lot of times they will ask you what scent you prefer, because some women don't like anything scented and some women like very strong scents or specific scents. They didn't do that. It was very light. After the scrub was done, I'll say that it was maybe a 35-40 minute scrub. The last 10 minutes was your shower. She opened the drape to the outside area, turned the shower on for me, and put the rest of the scrub out there. And then she came and told me, hey, I'm gonna leave. Go ahead and take a shower, but close so that I can prepare the room for your massage. I went out there and it was absolutely divine. Again, I had told you I did the outdoor shower when we were by the pool area, and this was the same thing except bigger. It was very open. I swear I could hear like birds chirping. Yeah, I always felt like I was one with nature. It was great. It was really nice also that she left the scrub there, because if there was maybe something else that you wanted to scrub, like your hands or maybe like a little bit on your face, which was a bit harsh for your face, but again, she left it there so you could try to use it. I mentioned that I took a pretty quick shower because it was hot out there, one, and two, I had just taken a shower before I did my treatment. I didn't need to take a long shower. I went back in the room. I had the massage. The massage was great. She had the right amount of pressure, and she asked me pretty early on, how is the pressure? One thing I don't like is when if you get a treatment or a massage, they ask you what pressure you like and then they do it, and then it's awkward because you might say light. So for me, I like light pressure. My mom likes super deep tissue massages, and I'm not like that. I will get really squirmy and it actually hurts, and I don't want it to because I want to be relaxed. She did a little bit and then asked me, and it was great because I could gauge what soft meant or hard meant for her. And hey, it makes it a lot easier. Her pressure was great. She asked me after she had done like maybe 2 minutes. That was great. And then I was also looking for certain things that she would do differently that I haven't had in other massages. And one thing she did was she spent a lot of time massaging my scalp. And I loved that. A lot of times you get a full body massage, if the focus is on maybe the back and like your arms or shoulders, because yeah, that's usually where a lot of people carry their tension, but I also carry my tension in my head. I will get really bad headaches sometimes if I get super stressed out. My husband's the same way. So she massaged my scalp and she also massaged my face. Now I will say that must be Maria's special thing she does, because when I talked to my other friends who got massages, they did not get a massage of their face, but she did for me, and it just made me feel really good because I hadn't gotten this facial, right? I opted for the scrub and the massage and not the facial, and she massaged my face for a few minutes and I liked that. Another thing I really liked is that she put a hot pillow under my head, and so it really helped me relax. And I know it sounds like a small thing, but in the past, remember when I was in Cabo, I got a massage and I got really sick because the room was really cold and they put water in my hair and my hair was wet. So I got really sick after, and I really thought that it was nice that they acknowledged the fact that you might get cold because you're just laying there not really exhibiting any energy. And that's me. If I lay still for a long time, I get really cold. So that was really great that she did that. Overall, the service itself was amazing for my scrub and my massage. My two good friends that did the other treatments, the scrub and the massage was very similar as far as how they liked it. I will say there was one of my friends who said that hers was nothing special, and maybe it was the person that was doing it, but she didn't love it and she didn't think it was that great. But me and my other friend really did love it. And then my two girlfriends that did their facials, they said that the person that did it took a lot of time to explain to them how their skin was responding, and she was giving them suggestions on what they could do with their beauty routine and also their diet, which could help with their skin. And I thought that was really great. She didn't try to sell them anything. She just said, hey, try to drink more water, or when you're putting your moisturizer on, go in like an upward motion like that. And that was really nice. I also want to point out that the folks that were in the locker room with us were excellent. They kept the place really clean. Whenever a towel was on the ground or something, they would come clean it up. I also mentioned that I had missed out on the first muffins and everything because I just at the time didn't want to eat anything. So they had banana bread out there by the time I was ready to eat, and I didn't want that. And the lady saw me kind of like because I didn't want banana bread. So I asked her, hey, are there any more of those scones that you had earlier? And she was like, no, I don't have that, but I have these biscuits, take 2 or 3. And then she also had these cookies dipped in white chocolate. I didn't get that because I just didn't. But it was really nice, and she was very considerate. Also, the person that walked us through the room and gave us a tour of all the amenities was super sweet. Check-in and check-out went really well. They were kind. As soon as we walked in, they acknowledged us, spoke to us. We went to go pay. Everything was very smooth, very nice. The only thing I will say for a hiccup as far as service went is when we went to the Hyatt pool, we were scanning our key, and I guess we weren't scanning the right one because it wouldn't turn. And there was a guy there, and he just like sat there and stared at us. He didn't try to come help us or ask us, oh hey, put your key this way. So that was really awkward. Not the best thing, but again, one kind of weird moment out of like 10 really great moments. I'm not gonna dock them on service. And I do want to mention one thing that I didn't say for the pricing portion. If you wanted access to the spa area, you would just pay $30 for a day pass. So there you have it as far as the 4 areas that I was going to touch on. So atmosphere, service, pricing, and amenities. I will give one suggestion to the Hyatt. I mentioned that we booked the special deal, and that was the last day of the special deal. I want to say that although there was a ton of people that were doing the services that day, I think I counted maybe 13 people that came and went into their service at the same time that we did. I think that's awesome that they have that many rooms to do all the services, but it did get really crowded in that area. Not only the waiting area, but also the pool area. We kind of were burning up because there was another group of girls, maybe like 9 girls that were there at the same time as us. And I do think that Hyatt should be really conscious of how they book their times or access. They should probably do like a minimum for a certain amount of time. I do understand that if you come there and you pay for a treatment, or if you pay for a day pass, you can stay there all day, and so it might be difficult for them to figure out if there is going to be too many people. But there was points in the day, and we were only there for maybe 2.5 hours before our treatment. There was just too many people. You couldn't really go to that really super small pool area, and if we really wanted to get in the water, we would have had to go out to the main pool, which is fine, but it, like I mentioned, it had a totally different vibe and mood, so you know, I wouldn't want to do that. That's the only suggestion that I would make to Hyatt. Just be really aware of like how you book everybody's time slots, and maybe have a minimum or maximum amount of people. All right, everybody, that's all I had today. I hope you liked my review, and if not, I don't know if you can hear my son, but mom's life. He's watching Paw Patrol. I hope you liked my review. If there's any other things that you want to ask about my experience, feel free to leave it in the comments. If you have suggestions on other places you want me to review, please let me know. Thank you. See you real soon. Bye.